Hello, everybody. My name is Benny, and I'm the Fool's Apprentice. Welcome back. So, I know it's been a couple of weeks since I've done a video and uploaded it, but like I mentioned before, it has been quite a challenge finding the time and energy to set time aside to study. And really, it's not like, you know, Lisa's course, Tarot on Training Wheels, is like overwhelming or super in depth. It's not. It's just life is really just going by really quickly and it's taking a lot of energy. So by the time I get home, I just want to sit and veg. I don't know if you can relate when it comes to taking time to study, but that's generally what's been going on with me for the last few weeks. And also, I know I'm in the infancy of learning how to do a YouTube channel, to do it well, all the nuances, all the, you know, backstage stuff that needs to happen. And, I get a little frustrated sometimes. So I started this video, and maybe 10 minutes in, maybe 7 minutes in, my camera just stopped saying that there wasn't enough memory. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Every time I do a video, I delete it off my USD card. So I went, got the card out, got my computer, YouTubed how to delete the memory, and I learned something I didn't know. That when you delete the files off the USD memory card, you actually have to empty the trash can or it stays on the card. Like, why? Like, there's no instructions about that. You kind of figure that out on your own. So, let me tell you, I'm so glad YouTube is around because I learn a lot of things from YouTube. So, here I am again, sitting in front of you, doing it one more time. But fortunately, I was only 7 minutes in. So, we're on lesson number 5 with Lisa's course, and we're discussing the wands, which is the fire element that deals with passion, creativity, and then she talked about a whole bunch of other stuff. And I was like, passion and creativity. I'll stay with that. That'll be good enough for me for now. I got one word per card. I think 2 of those for fire would be enough to get me started. Please excuse me. I have an itchy throat. I've been coughing a lot lately. I don't have cough drops, so I'll be drinking some water from time to time. I know this has been an issue in other videos, but it's that time of the season for me. And there's really nothing that I can do or take that's going to make it go away other than cough drops. And you get sick and tired of taking cough drops, let me tell you. So in doing the lesson, I was really surprised that we were only doing ace through 10. I thought we were going to do the court cards as well, and we're not. It turns out that she has a whole lesson on the court cards, which I'm going to find interesting. I think you could have gone ace through king or separated them like she did and pull the court cards out. So I'm interested to see why she's doing that, and I'm sure she'll discuss it in that lesson. But a couple of things that she did that I really liked in doing the wands card. Oh my God, I can't speak. Doing the wand suit is it was different from the major arcana because she really talks about the progression of the particular suit. And then a part that at least I don't remember her talking about it before, I really liked how she said, find out what these words mean to you. So, like, the first one is inspiration. So I looked up the definition for inspiration and just really thought on my own what inspiration meant and how I applied it in my life and how I see it in others. How others people's actions influence me and inspire me. And so that gave me a really good idea of what inspiration was. And so and then associating it with the card. And she talks about find out what that word really means to you and build a relationship with the word and the card. And I thought, wow, that is brilliant. Building a relationship with the word and the card, I thought was an amazing teaching point. And then she said, and then what you'll do is you'll be able to compare those words with other decks. And I was like, wow, that makes so much sense. So that is like the big lessons for me in that intro that she did. Well, it wasn't an intro; it's my intro. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the camera around. We're going to go over the cards, and I have a surprise. So hold one moment, and I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. So we start off with the Ace of Wands, and she really talks about the Ace of Wands as being the card of inspiration for her. She explains why and the reasons behind picking that word. So she talks about inspiration and how it relates to creativity and passion and things that really come up for us and things that we want to accomplish. And so she figured that inspiration was a really, really good word. And it talks how, the wand is always center and big and you can't miss it. And it's, again, same thing. This is my surprise. Oak, Ash, and Thorn. It was so pretty. I was looking at on her YouTube video as she was teaching us. And I just I got to get it. And it's an amazing deck, by the way. And so I really didn't have an issue with inspiration compared to a couple other words that come up later. And then she has possibilities for number 2, which I really, really like. It. She talks about how these cards really are pondering that moment of what could be, like what's the next step, what are we going to do. And she really likes the idea of possibilities in this card because they're pondering ideas or planning a path. And I can see that in this because they're just out there just still, in contemplation. Now this is a card that I will end up putting the word down as to what the word was that she preferred not to use. And in looking at these two particular cards, I can see why she wanted to use the word embark. It is really about taking this path. It is about taking your first steps forwards, as she says. After you went to number 2, came from number 2 with all the possibilities that you had pondered. And I really like this. And that other word that she didn't like, she felt was just too soon because you just came from a place of pondering what you were going to do next. And this card, by embarking on a journey, you're actually taking your first steps. So that makes a lot of sense to me. So I'm going to stick with that. And then the 3 of Wands. Oh, did I miss it? Oh, yeah, no. The 4 of Wands. As you can see, I have mine empty. Because I really, really struggled with her word of milestone compared to the traditional word of celebration. I like both of them. And I actually had to watch her video a few times. But she really talks about how this is not an end of a journey, but a pause in a journey. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. And she talks about this path that they took before that they're looking at and have arrived somewhere and have accomplished something. And so she uses milestone as a moment, a big moment in your journey. And like this couple, like they could be getting married. Here, it's about establishing a home. And I was like, I really, really like that. So I'm gonna leave this blank because I really, in reading the books and the guidebooks as well, I just get a lot of celebration feedback. So I'm going to leave this blank until I get a better sense of what this card actually means for me. Okay. This one, I think, basically is the same thing. It's competition. It's friendly. When it's reversed, it could be something a little bit more malicious. But here she really explains that, this is, competing against someone, trying to, bring out your best self, your best work. so you could stand out against other people. And in both cards, you could see that, it's in fun, or it's not necessarily a rivalry, but it is friendly competition. And then she talks about how sometimes she used to confuse the Five of Wands with the Five of Swords, which I get now. Here there is maliciousness. There is going to be a victor one way or another. Someone is going to lose. Somebody's going to be defeated, and for that person, it's the outcome is not good. There is no friendly competition where you walk away unscathed. Somebody is going to have their feelings hurt. Somebody is going to be super disappointed. Something's going to happen, and there is no silver lining with this card, which I thought was great that she was able to pull this in, because now I know what these cards mean. And here, she talks about a common word for this is victory. But how she has an underlying theme for victory for this card. But she really talks about how this card really, for her, means recognition, which makes a lot of sense when she explained it. I say that a lot, it makes a lot of sense, but that's because she knows what she's doing. This is really about people recognizing the hard work that you did, coming together to celebrate your accomplishment and the victory that you had. So I think recognition works really well because within that, there is victory. Excuse me. And so the recognition really plays a good part in a reading because you can draw victory from it. So I thought that was really, really great. I love these cards. Look at how they're all celebrating this fox. I think that's amazing. So Seven of Wands, traditionally defend. And this is a really easy card for me to see once I was provided the meaning and the word for it. Somebody is up high, they have the advantage, but the disadvantage is they got multiple people that are coming up towards him that he has to fight against. So what he has, what he values, he is going to defend, which could include property, family, his own life. But whatever he's going to do, what I see is he's actually moving towards them in this particular card. And I really like that because he's not being passive. He's actually going to engage. And there's a sense of courage in this card that I see. And, a sense of I'm all in or nothing. And so this card really talks about, fighting to the bloody end until, either you win or you lose. And she really talks how momentum is just the perfect word for this card. A lot of the cards that I see are wands, all moving in one direction, lined one on top of the other. Here, you see a wand being thrown like a spear. And it still has that momentum moving forward. For me, what this card represents is your work, your actions, your experience, your skill, moving you forward, trying to reach a goal. And so I see this card as an action card coming from you. So, I could actually read a lot more. This card, she talks about how these ones are either coming from the sun or going to the sun. I'm going to have to actually look at this card and study this card a little bit more in this deck. But for me, the momentum is pretty clear. I have no issues with that word. So number 9, let me tell you number 9. I struggled so hard with number 9. I read all my books. I even went and did 9 of Wands on YouTube and started listening to what other people thought about it. And she has the word protect. And I really struggled with the word perseverance, and vigilance. Those were two words that came up for me in everything that I was reading.
Hello, Lisa here.
And I actually had to look up the definitions, and they have two very distinct definitions. Uh, and so I even went to her Facebook page to ask the members what would they choose, and it was similar. And other people provided their own word, which wasn't answering my question. But here it says perseverance is not giving up. It's a persistence and tenacity, the effort required to do something and keep doing it until the end, even if it's hard. While vigilance is the action or state of keeping careful watch for possible danger or difficulties. And to be honest, I see both these words in this card. And I vacillated back and forth. And I think what I'm going to do is, I think this is a card. Now, both words work fine for this card. They they fit for me really well, and I would use both of them. However, I am following her lesson, and her lesson states that it's a one word tarot lesson. So I'm gonna actually erase this and leave it blank like I did the other card. So I see both. I really, really do, and that's just. I think that's going to have to come with experience, actually pulling the cards, seeing what comes in the moment, keeping a log of what word I tend to associate with it, and then finally we come to the Ten of Wands, the last card, and a lot of people use the word burden, and she, acknowledges that. But she sees the card differently. She sees the card as someone who is persevering, which kind of conflicts with number 9 if I end up using perseverance for number 9. But she feels that this card is about somebody who is continually moving forward, bearing their responsibilities and not giving up and continuing to do what they need to do. But for me, when I look at this card, I do see a burden. And a lot of the cards that I looked at in the decks that I have, it just looks like this person's just beaten down by their journey, and they're just on their last leg, and they're doing the best that they can, but it is a struggle. And so I'm going to stick with burden on this one and see how that works for me. I think it's going to be a good one for me. And I really, trust me, in my lifetime, I have lived this card. So that works really well for me. So I'm going to keep that one as well. So with that, that is lesson 5. My goal is to do lesson 6 within the week and post it, and then next week and have another one. This was a difficult one for me because 3, 4, and 9, I really, really struggled. I really didn't like the word embark, and I was looking for synonyms for embark, and there wasn't really anything that I liked. Still stuck on milestone and celebration. I think I'm probably going to go with milestone because I think you celebrate milestones. So that just feels like that's a good compromise right now. But like I said, I'm going to give it a bit. And then number 9. I mean, I had a lot of words for number 9. Let me show you. So I had perseverance, vigilance, resolve, defend, protect, resilience. And so there was a lot of words that kept popping up. And, I thought that this would be like, sit there, get the words, no big deal, lesson learned, let's go to the next one. And I'm finding that with every card, I still have to go through my books. And with the cards that I struggle with, not only do I have to go through my books, I look up the words in the dictionary, I'm looking at synonyms, I'm using a thesaurus just to find something that really speaks to me when I look at the card. So that has actually been something that's been very surprising. It takes a lot of time. However, I see the benefits of that because I'm learning. I have a good vocabulary, but this practice is giving me multiple words for the cards that I hope will stick or will show themselves again in the future as I pull for myself. But I'm still enjoying this lesson. You know what? Let me turn this video around. 1 second. So, I should have done that last dialogue in front of the camera. So, with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. This video was not my favorite. I had a lot of issues in doing it, but that's part of the process of learning, right? So really what's happening is I'm learning how to do two things at the same time, and both of them take a lot of effort. And I'm not even close to being proficient with either one of them. In fact, I think I'm fumbling through. But it is what it is. All right, I'll see you. Bye.